Football is the world's most popular sport. The success is in its simplicity. With just some land, goal markers, and a ball, it can be played just as easily by the working classes as aristocracy. The history of football in Europe can be traced back to medieval times and the Industrial Revolution. The game evolved from local customs and folk games into a standardized sport with professional leagues and international competitions. Records trace the origins of the sport back more than 2,000 years ago to ancient China, Greece, and Rome, where the ball was made of rock or animal hide stuffed with hair. Disturbed by the adverse effect that football was having on the good citizens of London, King Edward II banned the game from the city. Later, in 1349, his son Edward III banned football entirely, concerned that the game was distracting men from practicing their archery. Following the massive loss of life suffered as a consequence of the Black Death, England needed as many archers as possible in order to achieve Edward's military ambitions in both France and Scotland. There have even been suggestions it dates even further back to old Mesoamerican cultures, but football, or soccer, as we know it today, has its roots in 19th century England. Modern football is derived from chaotic and often violent games played in the UK in which whole villages battled across terrain traversing village squares, streets, and fields. Rules, if any existed, were vague, and the number of players unlimited. From England, the idea of football spread to Europe and across the Atlantic. Two school teachers, August Hermann and Konrad Koch, introduced the game to Germany circa 1874. Immigrants, meanwhile, are thought to have brought soccer to the United States. The first football association was formed in England in 1863. Rules were established but continued to change, and the size and weight of the match ball standardized. Crucially, carrying the ball with the hands was outlawed. Records show that Sheffield Football Club is the oldest football club in the world. According to the club's official website, Sheffield Football Club was founded on October 24, 1857, by Nathaniel Creswick and William Prest at Parkfield House in Highfield, Sheffield. Football continued to undergo rapid development into the 1900s, accelerated by industrialization. Public school teams soon became the minority following the emergence of factory and other work-based clubs. The best players received monetary incentives, and tickets were sold to the public, mainly members of the working class, for matches. Domestic leagues became commonplace around the world, the English Football League being the first professional division. In Germany, football was played at an amateur level until 1949, when semi-professional leagues were introduced. The country's first professional division, the Bundesliga, started in 1963-64. 46 clubs from the former West Germany applied for admission to the new league. 16 were selected based on their sporting track record, economic criteria, and representation of the various sub-regional leagues. Until 2001, the Bundesliga was directly under the auspices of the Deutscher Fußballbund, DFB, or German Football Association. This changed with the formation of the Deutsche Fußballliga, DFL, or German Football League. One of the world's most famous football matches took place between opposing forces in the no-man's land of the Western Front during the 1915 Christmas truce of World War I. The first FIFA, Fédération Internationale de Football Association, World Cup took place in Uruguay in 1930. Following a 12-year pause due to the outbreak of World War II, the World Cup resumed in 1958 and is now held in a different country every 4 years. Originally known as the European Champion Clubs Cup or the European Cup, the UEFA, Union of European Football Associations, Champions League is an annual competition for the top football clubs in Europe. The tournament, first played in 1955, sees up to 4 teams from Europe's strongest national leagues progress through several stages over 11 months of the year. The Champions League has its own anthem, written by Tony Britton. It is an adaptation of George Frederick Handel's Zadok the Priest. The chorus contains all 3 of UEFA's official languages: English, French, and German. Football is not just a game. To many, it is the stuff of life. In some countries, football is part of the national culture. Families, friendships, and communities are brought together or forced apart by it. Community identity is important. Each fan is a part of the team, feeling every victory or loss as keenly as the players and managers. They support their side by wearing the team's colors or strip, by singing songs and chants, which can be affectionate or insulting, humorous or cruel. Football memorabilia such as old strips, matchday programs, fanzines, signed photographs, and footballs are hugely collectible and are frequently auctioned for vast sums, often for charitable benefit. Local derbies, in which two geographically close teams play each other, are often the source of bitter rivalry, but can also have the effect of uniting communities. Today, 211 national associations are members of FIFA, football's world governing body. The world regions are divided into 6 confederations: Confédération Africaine de Football, CAF, Asian Football Confederation, AFC, UEFA, CONCACAF, Oceania Football Confederation, OFC, and Confederación Sudamericana de Fútbol, CONMEBOL. While 32 countries took part in World Cup qualifying in 1934, that number has risen to over 200, reflecting football's standing as a truly global phenomenon. Today, footballers are some of the world's most well-known celebrities. Of course, some players become more infamous than famous, either for misdemeanors off the pitch like fighting and drug-taking, or bad behavior on it, think Maradona's hand of God and Cantona's kung fu kick. Ferenc Puskás scored 84 goals in 85 international matches for Hungary. FIFA now awards the Puskás Award for the most beautiful goal over the past year. Franz Beckenbauer is generally regarded as the greatest German footballer of all time and is one of the most decorated players in the game's history. In 1999, Dutchman Johan Cruyff was voted European Player of the Century in an election held by the International Federation of Football History and Statistics, and came second behind Pelé in their World Player of the Century poll. Footballers keep fans entertained on the pitch with their remarkable abilities, but some stars transcend the game, and their reach goes beyond the sport itself. Their larger-than-life personalities, combined with their legacy, make them some of the most famous names around the globe. The World Atlas claims that there are over 3.5 billion football fans around the world, and the 2022 FIFA World Cup raked in a humongous 1.5 billion viewers, which is an astounding statistic per Fan Nation Football. This is why the past and present stars of football are some of the most popular celebrities, with names such as David Beckham and Pelé known worldwide. Here, the 11 most famous names in football history have been ranked, taking into account their global reach, extraordinary talents with the ball at their feet, and the impact they made during and after their playing careers. Number 11. Zlatan Ibrahimović. Zlatan Ibrahimović was one of the most polarizing players during his career because of his considerable ego. However, that made for a compelling character with the talent to back up his attitude. The imposing Swedish forward lit up European football with his smoothness on the ball and potent goal scoring. He made his mark at AC Milan, netting 93 goals and 34 assists in 163 games, and became a European journeyman, playing for PSG, Inter Milan, Juventus, Manchester United, Barcelona, and Ajax. Ibra's globetrotting adventures put him in the spotlight in each respective country and allowed him to become one of the most popular stars in the game. He was a menace, causing mischief to get under his opponent's skin while also displaying his talent on the international stage. He finished his career in the summer of 2023 as Sweden's all-time top scorer, and many feel he deserved to win a Champions League, the one club trophy that evaded him, but he has 31 major trophies to brag about. Number 10. Johan Cruyff. Johan Cruyff's tactical prowess made him a genius during his playing days and also in the managerial hot seat. The Dutch icon knew where a teammate would be even without looking, and he made everything look easy. His inspiring personality helped shape modern football, pioneering Barca's La Masia Academy once he hung his boots up in 1984, having won the Ballon d'Or on 3 occasions. Football wouldn't look like it is today without the Flying Dutchman's input. Number 9. Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane is arguably France's most iconic player in the country's history, and deservedly so, given the career he carved out for himself. He was an all-thrills attacking midfielder whose playmaking abilities were second to none. He conjured up several moments that football fans still talk about today, such as his phenomenal volley for Real Madrid against Bayer Leverkusen in the 2002 Champions League final. The ball flowed with Zizou every time he had it at his disposal, and his tremendous ability resulted in a 1998 Ballon d'Or triumph. Number 8. George Best. George Best was described by Pelé as the greatest player in the world during a career that saw him flourish at United. The Belfast boy was a genius on the pitch, netting 179 goals in 470 games at Old Trafford. The 1968 Ballon d'Or winner might be the greatest player to have never reached a World Cup final. His off-the-field antics also made him an enigmatic character because of his notorious playboy lifestyle, charm, and good looks. Number 7. Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho was perhaps the most exceptional trickster in football history, and he wrote his name in the history books during his career, which saw him create many magical moments. He could score any type of goal, including free kicks, overhead kicks, volleys, and toe pokes, such as the one he netted for Barca against Chelsea in the 2004-2005 Champions League campaign. There was nothing quite like watching Ronnie with the ball at his feet, and he stood out in a generation of Brazilian footballers, including Ronaldo Nazário, Rivaldo, and Roberto Carlos. Number 6. Ronaldo Nazário. Ronaldo Nazário epitomized the Samba style of play and was one of the deadliest finishers in football history. This center-forward gave defenders nightmares every time he was on the ball. Fans tried copying R9 with his iconic 2002 World Cup haircut that made him stand out just as much as his goal-scoring prowess, winning the Golden Boot during that tournament with 8 goals. The legend of O Fenomeno won 2 Ballons d'Or during his career and made the number 9 jersey his own with his pace, strength, and aerial ability. Fans from all regions of the globe still wear his Brazil shirt. Number 5. Pelé. Pelé has a highlight reel of magical moments during a remarkable career that saw him reach nirvana in Brazil colors by winning the World Cup on 3 occasions. The Brazilian government declared him a national treasure for his exploits on the pitch, becoming the greatest player in Santos FC's history, where he spent most of his career, scoring a reported 643 goals during his playing days. Number 4. Diego Maradona. Diego Maradona is a legend of the game who helped the sport grow with his unique personality and unbelievable ability that makes him so popular with football fans. He was the first player to set the world record transfer fee twice and transcended the game during the 1980s with his dribbling, vision, footballing IQ, and controversial moments. None more so than the infamous Hand of God goal he netted for Argentina in a 2-1 win over England en route to winning the World Cup in 1986. Number 3. David Beckham. David Beckham made everything look cool every time he took to the pitch, embodying a style on and off the field that gives off the aura of James Bond. The Englishman captivated fans with his free kick abilities. The way he curled the ball in set-piece situations was a sight to behold, netting 43 free kicks during his career. He also played for some of the biggest clubs in Europe: United, Madrid, AC Milan, PSG, and LA Galaxy. Number 2. Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi reached the pinnacle of world football in 2022 when he finally got his hands on the World Cup, cementing his legacy as arguably the greatest player in history. The 8-time Ballon d'Or winner has wowed fans for decades now with his agility, magic left foot, and creativity, the most decorated player in the history of the sport. Argentina's hero is Barca's all-time top scorer, 672 goals, and his blockbuster move to Inter Miami in the summer of 2023 saw him link up with Beckham in a move straight out of Hollywood. Number 1. Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo is the most famous footballer in history, a name known across the globe because of his appeal on and off the pitch. Where Messi perhaps lacks a larger-than-life personality, Ronaldo has it in abundance. There is no escaping the magnitude of CR7, evidenced by the record-breaking start of his own YouTube channel. He's a bona fide superstar who the world is always talking about. He has his own clothing range, and his rivalry with Messi is perhaps the greatest in sporting history. What do you think of this list? Do you agree or disagree? Please share your idea with us.